Howdy friends, Andy, Kilo 5 Papa Oscar here, and I'm in the cable dungeon, if you will. It's the area behind my operating position where all my equipment rests. It's nice to have something like this, but it's still a bit of a mess. See, since I've added the Flex 8600 not too long ago, I have a single operator 2 radio setup, which means I have 2 antennas coming off the radio, 2 into the amplifier, 2 into the tuner. All these coaxial cables everywhere. I just want a bit more order here. So I'm going to try to get it in order. I don't know who exactly wants to watch this sort of video. Maybe it'll be like a decluttering cable ASMR, or maybe I'll get really frustrated and scream. You'll know as soon as I do. Come along for the journey. Here's the setup as it is right now. From the Flex to the Power Genius to the Tuner Genius over there. There. As you can tell, the quarters are a bit cramped in here, so you'll have to excuse an otherwise relatively awkward camera angle. It'll just have to be what I work with. I can't knock down this wall for the purposes of a video. My wife would probably not be pleased. Well, let's get started. Ugh. Okay, so right now what I have is really just a collection of patch cables I had for oftentimes many years. Some of these have been part of the station since I first became an amateur radio operator in 2008. And it wasn't even in this station, that was a couple of houses ago. But at any rate, they're fine cables, and most of them are nicely made RG3 or RG213 cables, and they've held up quite well. But as I noted, they're all different lengths, all over the place, and just not very tidy. So that's kind of my goal. And normally if I wanted a patch cable, I would just make one, but I really want this to look nice, so I spent a bit more money and got these sweet Messi and Palomi cables. Hopefully this is a very functional length. I wanted them no longer than they had to be to work in this position. And I really wanted these right angle connectors to keep them flush to the equipment, or at least as much as is possible. So I got 6 of those. I got a couple of little adapters. As part of the single operator 2 radio setup, I also need another power coupler for my Ray Solutions PowerMaster 2, so I have this here. Ray Solutions is actually still selling these right now in early 2026. They're all but out of business. Jay, the proprietor, is basically retired, but he had a couple more of these and was selling them, which is good, because I already have one. I need 2 for the 2 sides of the radio now. I also got one of these Palomar Engineering common mode noise filter. It's basically just a bunch of ferrites wrapped around what I believe is some coax in there. This one's rated for 5,000 watts PEP. Pretty important because this goes after the amplifier. And again, I already have one of these, but with 2 separate RF paths for the 2 antennas, I needed 2 of them to make it work. Also got some additional Palomar Engineering, just regular ferrite toroid rings. This is your Mix 31. I have ferrites on everything around here. Sometimes they probably aren't even necessary where I have them, but it just gives me some peace of mind. And these things are great. You can wrap a bunch of wraps of windings of Ethernet through it, USB cables to knock RFI in or out of a cable, whatever it may be. And of course I have some trusty zip ties to try to tidy it all up. Oh, I promise if I do fall down and smack my head on the wall or on the floor in here, I'll make sure to leave it in the video, so stay tuned. First, we got to do a bit of uncabling. See, the only cables I'm really keeping right now are the cables that go from the Tuner Genius out to the coaxial or my input panel that's on this external wall right here. So those stay in place, antenna A and antenna B. The rest of them are all going to come off for now. So let's start some deassembly first. Again, all these are working just fine. So they'll become spares and patches patch cables to be pulled into use for whatever project inevitably comes up. Good RG213 sort of stuff. Just fine for this sort of work. Just not as neat as I would like. Again, I apologize for the junk camera angle. There's not much I can do here. Here's the other common mode filter I had from the original side where it has been in use. I've always noted that I really enjoy building systems, radio stations, my musical gear setup. I'm also a terrible EDM producer, as another one of my hobbies. Whatever it may be, integrated systems like this, I just find a lot of fun. Finding all the little pieces of the puzzle to put together, how you can make them fit. I just think it's really neat. But I also find it really fun to kind of redo them. Do you all do this? Where like, like once every couple months you want to move a transceiver around, move something in or out, adjust the ergonomics of your station, something like that. And in the process, you end up pulling a bunch of wires off. Shuffling some things around, rerouting some things. I think it's kind of fun. And again, it's something I rather enjoy about the hobby is putting all these puzzles together like this. Obviously, these are not long lengths of coax, but it is my hope that, hey, maybe I'll reduce a dB of loss or so in the process. Probably a dB maybe a bit aspirational, but obviously some of these they're certainly longer than they need to be, so that would be kind of nice. I have some of these big giant clip-on ferrites as well, also from Palomar Engineering. No affiliation with Palomar Engineering, but I think I've mostly helped keep them in business. I always go for the Type 31 stuff. 43 works really great, but Type 31 rather, is just a little bit more effective on the lower bands where some of this sort of stuff can really come into play. Is 2 turns or a couple turns of these on a coax going to make a difference? Yeah, probably some, but probably not a lot sometimes. You might need more turns to really get sufficient choking power for some of these sort of situations. But it's really not going to hurt. And hey, if you cut a bit of noise out that you didn't know you were going to have, that's like investing in your future operating piece. I even had a couple of these right angle adapters on there that I will no longer need in the system, as I have right angle coaxial connectors now. But just to kind of keep some of the strain off the coax from it coming out and then being tucked back around and make it a bit more tidy. But again, won't be necessary, or I hope it won't be necessary in the new setup. Okay. What is most of the decommissioning that has to happen here? All right. Let's start to build anew here. All of these cables are, again, a Messi and Palomi product. I forget exactly which one I got. This is an all copper construction product that seemed to have some of the lowest loss of the cable of this size they offered, with, again, the right angle connectors. Looks like a good product. I don't have any Messi and Palomi coax, or didn't up until this point, but they sure came highly regarded. I went all with the half meter length, which, I'll kind of curve them a little bit. It should give me, I hope, plenty of space, but not too much space. Connector goes on nicely. Let's see, how do I want to route this? Let's just try it like this first. Got the GPS reference. I don't want to crimp that coax. Take it off, put it back on. All right, antenna 1 to drive A. Looks okay. Antenna 2 to drive B. I do wish that this was drive 1 and 2, and tuner 1 and 2, or at least that they all have the same naming convention, because the radio has 1 and 2, and then it's A and B on the Power Genius and Tuner Genius rather. Wish it were all the same. I will probably live, but it would be nice. Okay. Need a couple more of these sweet patch cables here. High grade screening efficiency, compression type, watertight connectors, factory made. All right, so these are going to do something a bit different. The next 2 points will go from my amplifier to the power coupler, and then the common mode filter, and then from those down to the Tuner Genius, because the power coupler and common mode filter should both be sitting in between the amplifier and the Tuner Genius, because we want to give, we want to show and reflect power and SWR with the tuner affecting them. I'm trying to think how I want to route this. Let me go up to here. We'll see. We may need to adjust this. We shall see, though. Need a bit more room here. Try something like that. Okay. It certainly looks clean. I do like that. And that is my hope, is that the final result will feel like a very clean, intentional install. But at least to start, it is coming across that way. Okay. Let me throw the... I'm going to get some zip ties and set these up, but right now, I will just get them penciled into place. Oh my. And the power coupler is set up to have, I'm not, okay, yeah. Source and load, with the source being your amplifier side and your load being your antenna side, as you might imagine. Same with the other one, which you probably can't see because my back is turned to you now. But here are the power couplers, or the Power Master HF coupler. It's not a power coupler. I think power coupler was like a Star Wars thing, right? It was a power coupling, right? In the pod racing, is that what I'm thinking about? Maybe what I'm confusing there. And what I'm going to try to do between the HF coupler, the power coupler, and the common mode filter is use one of these male-to-male adapters, because I don't need like, you know, a coax run between them per se. I just need to connect the two things together. Probably get out my trusty Sharpie and write A and B on both of these things too, just so I can make sure I can follow it visually through the process. Okay. These things are sort of heavy, so I definitely need like some zip ties to hold them up. Okay, so I've got the HF coupler mounted to the common mode filter. I don't have the coax from the filter going down to the tuner yet. And I wonder if I really should approach each one of these one at a time before I try to do the rest. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll unscrew this one. This part's just a bit clumsy. Okay. Let's see what we can do. If I loosen that, I can maybe angle it like this. something like that. I think this could work. See if I can stick that there for a second while I get some zip ties. Okay. Hey, if you've watched this far, please like and subscribe. I would sincerely appreciate it. You're obviously the sort of rugged video watcher that I need. It's willing to just watch any amateur radio content, like myself. I'll watch anything about this stuff. What's wrong with us? Okay, I like that there. Just go ahead and try to put the last jumper on here. See what we think about it. So this one really didn't need to be right angle, and right angle almost might make it a bit more complicated. Just trying to avoid the cables all sticking straight out of the back of the equipment. I think it'll work. We'll get it to work. I don't want to twist this connector off. I might need to route it out a bit more anyway. Let's see here. Let's use my B connection here. The Tuner Genius is so lightweight, it makes it a little awkward because I feel like I'm always pushing it around when I'm trying to connect a coax or disconnect the coax to it. Okay, maybe I mostly have one of them here. Might need to zip tie that in place too, just to keep it from moving around on me. Looks kind of cool. Looks matter. Although the only one's gonna see, I was gonna say the only one's gonna see the back of my operating position back here is me, but that's not true. Y'all are checking it out right now. No one else though, just us. Navigate a zip tie through here. Okay, I've got, I think, one. Get my scissors and trim off these zip ties so I don't poke myself in the eye here. I get that. Angled down. Just working with it, I guess. Yeah, okay. Just a bit of flex in the cable. So I think maybe I'll put the second one kind of on the first one so they're all kind of together. I could zip tie them together then. I think that could work. Kind of, sort of, something like that. Okay, I can get it to rest here. So I'm gonna, please rest. Maybe this will work. Nope. Need to grab another zip tie. I have some bigger zip ties. Oh, here they are. See if I can grab it. All right. Sorry, dentist. I know you would not approve. And sometimes a man must use his tools. So I'm just trying to throw a zip tie here. That's maybe too much. I think I need it to be here. Trying to find it. This is not super heavy. I'm trying to find the right thing to feel like it can bear the weight. Again, I just want it to kind of stay neat. I think this will work. Okay. Okay, we're playing ball here. Maybe I'll get another one. And zip tie between the two common mode units here. Okay. I generally like that. Now I need the last jumper. Trying to kind of pre-bend the jumper gently. It seems to take to a bend nicely. But you always want coaxial cables, or really any cable carrying signals of significance, to be bent within their tolerances and to be bent very gently. Look upside down. I feel like I don't know which way I'm screwing the thing, but I think no, I'm not screwing it the right way. I was screwing it on with the going left. That doesn't work for these. It only works for like the inside of propane canisters. Yeah, a couple other things too. All right, making some progress. So for the other one, I'm coming down around that, and then keep it gentle here. Gentle. Bend it. I gotta get a bit more severity on the bend, but I don't want to stress the connector on either side. Loosen up the first one here a bit. Work it out of the way. Okay. Now, I believe we may have a first pass at this thing. Just trying to double check on my connectors. Because they all kind of spin different ways. Alright, so kind of here's the final product. We have the right angles coming out of the flex, going up here into the drive of the PGXL, then out the output of the PGXL over here to the pair of the PowerMaster HF couplings I have here, and down through those male-to-male to these Palomar Engineering common mode filters, then out of the common mode filters down into the transceiver side or source side of the Tuner Genius. And again, I didn't mess with the antenna outputs. I'd like to maybe get new ones of those too, but I gotta get some better measurements there. And that would be easy enough to do separately. All right, well, I think I maybe have a little fine tweaking to do, but on the whole, I would say I am pretty happy with how that turned out. What do y'all say? Looks kind of cool, I think. I think it looks kind of cool. Hey, thanks if you've made it this long. Thank you. That's fun. I would certainly love some input. Any way you would have done it differently if it was yours. Any tips to tidy it up a bit more? I'd be happy to hear them. And again, please give it a like, and if you're not already, please subscribe. Makes a difference, and it makes this a heck of a lot more fun to have someone to talk to about these things. I really appreciate it. Take care. 73. Be well.